Right, this is a very cute questions. And first, let's look at the factor theorem again. And this part A, we're going to use the factor theorem. Now, how do we show that x minus 2 is a factor of fx minus f2? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let gx be fx minus f2. Okay, and all I need to do is to show that g2 is 0. I can do that easily. Right, because this is 0, and so therefore by factor theorem, x minus 2 is a factor of gx, which is in fact fx minus f2 as defined earlier. So we've done that. And looking into the second part, we're going to repeat what we've the approach we used in part A, and by doing this we let hx be px minus pk, and of course here the assumption is that the polynomial p is degree 1 or more, and that means we are trying to say that the px is not a polynomial. I mean not a constant, right? And so what we're going to do is we show hk is going to be pk minus pk, and in fact this is 0. And so again, according to the factor theorem, x minus k is a factor of hx, where hx is in fact px minus pk, right? Again, we have shown it. And now move on to the part C here. The part C actually relies on our ability to spot pattern and also the result in B. Now let's look at this. Now here, let's start with this. Given that 1 plus 2i is 0, so that means 1 minus 2i, the conjugate, is also 0 of tx specifically. So so the SOR is this plus 1 minus 2i, that will be 4, and if you calculate the POR, you will get 5. So this quadratic expression is a factor, right? Isn't it? Factor of tx. In other words, since tx is cubic and all the coefficients of tx is real, as mentioned here, so tx can be written as follow. We will have x squared minus 4x plus 5, and because it's a quadratic and tx supposed to be cubic, the remaining factor will be linear. And of course, since we do not know, in fact we do not know the coefficient of the leading term, so we put an a. So we're tasked to find a and b here, and here we're going to use the result in part B. Now given that x minus 2, a factor of tx minus 25. Now if you think about this, the tx, you compare this to the px here, and assume that pk is 25, and again we have the form of factor of x minus k, or in this case x minus 2, And that means, right, according to this, that means we know that T2 is 25, right? Because PK will be, is supposed to be PK, or in this case TK, and K is 2. And also, so we argue that this is from B. So similarly, we then know that T1 from this result here, or this piece of information, and T1 is in fact 12. And so from T2 equivalent to 25, what we're going to do is we let x be 2, and you have 4 minus 8 plus 5, and here you have 2 plus b. Now that will be equal to 25, and let's call this equation 1, right? It will be fair. You know, you can see where we're going to. It's 12 E, and this here we have 1 plus b. This is equal to say 12. Call this equation 2. So, well, of course, so if you are going to skip some of the work, you do it on your own. Solving 1 and 2. Simultaneously, you would be able to find that A is in fact 19, and B is negative 13 over 19. And so we have found Tx right here, put 19 here, x squared minus 4x plus 5, and x minus 13 over 19. Right, so that's the answer. I hope you try other questions or redo these questions, and all the best.